It's a celebration of queerness in a way, you know, in its pureness and in its spirit, and you know, it's such an honor to be able to just participate in that.
Obviously, the movie's been really well received so far. It's got a really big gay following. I just wondered why you thought that might be.
As someone with gay friends who have bombarded me about tickets and did not care that I was in another movie called Spider-Verse when I offered those tickets, I think that Barbie is just an icon. She's a fashion icon. She is confident. She can be anything. She's aspirational. They're like, what's not to love about Barbie? And I think also, specifically, you know, a lot of young boys played with Barbie and have been told that they're not supposed to, and I think this is an opportunity to celebrate, you know, what they may have been shunned for celebrating in the past. So any excuse to celebrate Barbie, I think, will bring people out.
Not my words, but I think one of the first things first conversations that I had with Greta was that, you know, it was about this movie, and it's a celebration of queerness in a way, you know, in its pureness and in its spirit, and you know, it's such an honor to be able to just participate in that, in this like unabashed, you know, celebration of individualism, of self-expression, of acceptance of oneself and others around you.
And the film deals a lot with the idea of identity and like figuring out who you are as a person in any world that we live in, whether it's Barbie world or the real world. How have you been impacted by the film, by being in the film and being Barbie and being Ken?
I mean, I think I was one of those kids that when I was growing up, I was kind of like, whether it was like the people around me or the rules imposed on me by like society, was that like I could only wear these colors, I could only play sports, I could not like, you know, the color pink, I could not play with Barbies, I could not, you know, like ballet or dance, or, you know, when I loved ballet and I loved dance, and I would like dance by myself all the time because I didn't, you know, I was too embarrassed to do it in front of other people and sing, and like I think this movie, what I hope that this movie does, and what it certainly did for me, was just like open me up, you know, even just like ungendering the color pink, doing such, I think I hope that we've done, you know, that work, and like just disconnecting ourselves from these arbitrary rules and these really antiquated ideas of what is quote unquote male and what is quote unquote female, and just living to your fullest and most authentic self.
That's beautifully said. I think for me it was almost affirming in a way. You know, Barbie represents this very specific beauty standard, and to be able to even play one just to open up the way that I view myself, and also seeing the various Barbies in the movie, in Greta Gerwig's vision of Barbie Land, was just really beautifully fulfilling, and it's a self-esteem boost, honestly, to be able to be like, oh, I got to play a Barbie, you know?
Each of you has a Barbie and a Ken, a respective Barbie and a Ken that's played by Scott Evans and Harry Neff. Do you know if there are any conversations on set about the film's LGBTQ representation that they were bringing with them as actors?
Harry, you know, so Greta encouraged us to think about who would be playing with our Barbies. Obviously, we exist in this world because we're being played with as Barbie, and Hari's imagination of who her owner was a gay man who collects Barbies and doesn't play with them too hard, but like just even being able to imagine herself as an antique Barbie doll, a collector's item, and the acceptance around that was just, you know, those conversations being had behind the scenes, and also informing how she plays her role. There was a constant conversation about, you know, again, like Simu said, how queerness impacts the world of Barbie and almost accentuates the world and enhances the world of Barbie.
That's so beautiful. Yeah, Hari has, again, you'll have to read this letter that I think she posted on her Twitter, but she had written this letter to Greta about how, you know, in her friend group, like dolls is something that they refer to themselves as, and it's just, you know, I would do a terrible job if I tried to paraphrase it in any way. I would just say it is one of the most beautiful things I've ever read, and it's just an honor to share the screen with her, with Scott.
Absolutely. Yeah. Thank you very much, both of you. I think that's all the time we've got.